Good evening and welcome to Connecting Point. I'm Carolee McGrath. For the past few months, we've been sharing with you stories about Gerena School in Springfield's North End. Tonight, we'll take you inside the school and inside the unique tunnel system that connects two neighborhoods in this section of the city. Our story begins here at the entrance to the tunnel on the Main Street side of the North End. Above it is the highway, Interstate 91. We travel it every day. Below it and through those doors is a public passageway that leads right to the school. When the highway was constructed, it split the North End in half, leaving the Memorial Square neighborhood on one side and the Brightwood section on the other. In between is not only the highway, but Birney Avenue and active rail lines, all dangerous avenues for residents to cross. This tunnel was an attempt to solve that problem. At the end of the tunnel, you come to this open space, which is currently under construction to address the water problems that have plagued this area. Above us is Gerena School, with approximately 700 students. It's a magnet school. Both the tunnel and the school were built in the mid-1970s. They have had their share of good times and bad. I sat down with three former teachers, Burt Freedman, Figueredo and Ursula Hogan, to learn more.
Well, it was very exciting because we had 1,250 kids here, and they came from all over the city, and it was very exciting, and we had so much equipment, and it was just wonderful. There's no other way to explain it. And everybody was just excited. We did plays, we did drama, we did right from the very get-go. We were up and running and doing just about anything.
Now, Burt Freedman is also joining us. You were a teacher here from 1975 to 1980. You've had a very long teaching career, but you said that you had a lot of fond memories here at Gerena.
Oh yeah, it was brand new. And we were younger then, and the students were great, and we had a great staff. It was terrific. It
was an interesting setup. It was sort of an open concept with pods.
Right.
Can you describe that?
Right, yeah. We had 10 pods, so to speak, which were large open space classrooms. And one of the ideas current at the time was if you have an open space and you have a lot of students, you can be project oriented. So you could have stations of different endeavors that the students would go to. So the fun part was also working with your colleagues to plan the day. You had all these kids, you had teachers who were ready to go, and they were great years.
And we're also joined by Mr. Fig. Am I allowed to call you that?
Absolutely.
Enrique Figueredo, if I pronounce that correctly, yeah. Known as Mr. Fig around, or at least by many of the students. You were a brand new teacher, and you got here in 1976, and you taught physical education. Tell me about it.
Correct. I was a graduate of Springfield College. I student taught in the city, and my first teaching job was here at Gerena. And when I showed up here, I said, "What a marvelous facility." Because being in the gym, we had a Olympic-sized swimming pool. We had a beautiful gym, tartan surface where the doors opened up to like a patio. So in the summer and the fall, we can use that space outside. We had playing fields outside on the Plainfield Street side, and it was just a marvelous situation that I was in. The kids had, like Burt said, you know, the facility itself brand new, and the equipment was all new, and we had just marvelous.
We also had a planetarium. We had a stage that at that time probably could rival a small version of City Stage in Springfield. The facilities were fantastic.
We had home economics.
That's right.
We had two kitchens. We had
the
woodworking,
the art spaces,
and the art space.
Woodworking.
Two art centers. It was just, there was nothing that was not available.
And it was a magnet school. I have to tell you that being the teacher that you are, you wrote notes, and I love them. I'm glad that you did. But you talked about that there was a waiting list of 1,000 students back when you were here.
I remember
That's
that.
Incredible.
It was. We had from every district in Springfield, every neighborhood, they would come here. I think we had as many as 27 buses, big buses. That's not the mini buses either, because this school was handicap accessible, And as we said, the pods had about 100 kids in it, and then right next to the pods were what we call mini pods, and those were a lot of special needs children. And they worked together, and it was just a wonderful situation to be in.
It was great diversity. We drew from all over the city, from every neighborhood, every ethnic background. It was terrific. And of course, we also had the social services and a lot of the city agencies and state agencies down below in the tunnels. I mean, it was just a little city here.
And when it was built, Ursula, did you think it was really a good idea to have this tunnel system to connect both sides of the north end? Was that something that you thought was helpful?
Yes, it did, because I had taught at Brightwood, and I knew the problem that people had going from Brightwood to Plainfield Street. That was the old Plainfield Street was there then, the new one was not. And to get over to Main Street, you had to go all the way around, or there was the dry bridge that you could walk over. So yeah, I thought it was a great idea.
So there's a lot of fond memories, but of course there were things that happened along the way that took away from some of that dazzle, I guess you could say, about the school. And then, of course, there was the big flood. You were a principal at Lincoln School at the time, and that was 1994. Describe what that day was like for you.
Sure. I was over at Lincoln School, and school was not in session. And my custodian over there at the time, Bob Mulcahy, who still works with the City Facilities Group, him and I decided we're going to take a walk over and see what the building looks like. Well, when we walked in to the building, it was closed, but we had access to it. Yeah, if I remember right, the water downstairs was probably a little bit higher than my knees. I rolled my pants up, I took my shoes off because it was during the summer, and we basically walked downstairs just a little bit. But it was incredible. I had never seen that much water inside a building.
And you were saying it was like a waterfall.
When it came into this room, and the public library was down below, so it sank through the concrete, and all the lighting and everything fell down into the library, and it went down every stairway out there. And then it got into the theater, and in the theater, there are all the concrete steps covered with rug, and it was just coming down there and then down, channeling into the tunnel area.
Right. Now, certainly it's been a long time since the heyday of Gerena School. The city has committed to fixing some of the problems here, including the air quality. I think that phase has been completed, and now they're looking at fixing the tunnel system. And you can see when you're out there some of the problems, obvious problems, just to the naked eye that people have been talking about. What are you hoping to see happen with the school?
Well, I've been, I had gone already before the, the floods and so forth. At least my recollection is that I had. So I have the memories prior to that, but I'm very happy to see in the newspaper articles I've been reading that the community has been having meetings, and that they're coming up with what they want, because I think it still is a community school. It should be a community school. And I would defer to, what the parents would like, what the community would like.
Now, Ursula, some have suggested, you know what, it's just too much money. It's one thing after another, plug it up, start again, find different community space. But you were here for a long time. How do you feel about that?
This school is not for everyone, but this school is for teachers and for children who want to live together as a group. And we made it work. We functioned as a team, and the kids became part of the team, and the parents became part of the team.
And do you think that this could be that way again? Is that something that you would like to see?
I'd love to see it. I know the building's expensive to run at times with the pumps going. I know it's had quite a bit of renovations. I could tell you that the building, since it's been done, it's a lot more lighted. It's more vivid. The tiles, the rug that was here when we were here, but I'm going to tell you that Lincoln and Brightwood can't accommodate all the children that live in this part of the city, in the North End. So you need a building like this. Currently, Gerena, I believe, has about 600 to 700 kids here. They don't fit in those two older buildings over there. So we need something, but I think we had to figure something out that would work for the community.
Well, it's great for you guys to come in and share these memories, and you certainly have a lot of perspective on this issue. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
thanks for
you
having
so
us.
much.